And in our top story at this hour, the White House says 74 Americans have now been evacuated out of Gaza and are safe in Egypt after 3 weeks of desperately trying to get out through the Rafah border crossing. White House spokesman John Kirby says more Americans are expected to leave Gaza as soon as today.
We obviously continue to be focused on getting as many Americans out as quickly as possible, and we still fully expect that more Americans will be able to depart. Hopefully more today, but certainly we're looking for them to depart at a similar pace, if not better than what we've seen. But again, I want to stress again, it's a fluid situation.
Kirby also announced that an additional 55 trucks containing life-saving aid crossed the border into Gaza. This comes as Israeli forces are claiming they have broken through Hamas front lines in northern Gaza. ABC's Ines de la Cuetara tracking it all from Jerusalem joins us now for more. So Ines, more than 300 people with foreign passports you've told us about have crossed today. What are you hearing about whether or not more will cross the Rafah border?
Hey, Kira and Terry. Yeah, so 342 foreign passport holders crossing today. Those were the latest numbers. That's on top of the 335 people, foreign nationals, who were allowed to cross yesterday. So that's 2 days in a row that people are being allowed to leave Gaza, the first time that's happened since October 7th. Certainly some good news. We know Americans are among those leaving. Yesterday, 5 American NGO workers left Gaza, and we know, you just heard it there, according to the White House, 74 Americans and their families were able to leave Gaza today. Now, according to the State Department, there are roughly 400 Americans trying to get out of Gaza together with their families. That's about 1,000 people that they're trying to get through the Rafah border crossing. So unclear, when it comes to a timeline, just how long it's going to take to get all of these people out. But we do understand that foreign passport holders are going to be eligible to cross through the Rafah border crossing. So we'll see. It might be several days before this happens. We know Americans have been told to move close to the Rafah border crossing to be ready to go at a moment's notice. And right now it's all about processing passports through the border.
And security, I imagine. So Egyptian officials in Ines say that there are a total of 7,000 foreign nationals from 60 countries who are eligible to leave. What is that going to look like? How do they keep that area secure? And what do people do when they get to the other side? Are they able to handle the kind of evacuation that they're managing?
Yeah, that's the big question here. So it is a complex situation. We know that some of the people leaving are some of the critically injured, right? So we know that a number of critically injured Palestinians have already left. They left yesterday, today. They're being either taken straight through in ambulances. We also know that ambulances are waiting for people on the other side of the crossing, that field hospitals are also being set up. But yeah, when it comes to the foreign nationals, that's a large number of people that, Egyptian officials are then trying to transport to Cairo. We know that in the case of the Americans, we've been in touch with some of the Americans who've left, and they were then making their way to Cairo to then head home. So, lots of organization that goes into that. And like you say, there are security concerns, national security concerns as well. We know Egypt doesn't want any Hamas militants or Hamas supporters pouring into Egypt, so they're likely going to be looking at that as well.
All right, and the Biden administration asking Israel for a pause now. We heard John Kirby mention that in the briefing today, to focus on these humanitarian issues. What do you think we can expect from Secretary of State Antony Blinken as the new U.S. ambassador to Israel travels with them now on a flight at this moment in country?
Yeah, so the choice of words here is interesting. The Biden administration is calling for a humanitarian pause, like you say, to allow, one, for more time to negotiate the release of the hostages here, but also to allow for humanitarian aid into Gaza. They're not using the word ceasefire, though, and that's because they want to show that they stand firmly with Israel. We heard it from Blinken earlier today, reiterating that Israel has a right and an obligation to defend itself. So they're being careful with their choice of words. And here in Israel, it's playing out, in an interesting way as well. So the IDF was actually asked about that. They were specifically asked about a ceasefire, not a pause, and they flatly rejected this notion of a ceasefire, saying, again, that they're not going to negotiate with terrorists, that they are here to eradicate Hamas, so they're not going to be implementing a ceasefire. They were not asked about a pause, but Israeli media is reporting that while Blinken is in the region starting tomorrow on Friday, he will be raising that with Israeli officials, pushing for that humanitarian pause.
All right. They don't want a ceasefire, but they want them to stop firing and pause for a moment, which is a distinction there in some ways. Ines de la Cuetara in Jerusalem, thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.